Hey guys, Noel here, and it is Wednesday, and while we have a little bit of free time on our hands, I thought it would be fun for us to do a review for the anime review section of the Noel Comics YouTube channel. Oh, love that sound. Alright, so what are we going to do today? So, we have Noel and Noel, right? That's Noel Bloom Sr., Noel Bloom Jr., and the one and only Noel Comics right here. Why am I talking about these things? Because we're going to be reviewing an anime of sorts. This is something that is included in the All-Star Theater VHS tape that I was able to acquire from my best friend's mom, basically, who liked to collect VHS tapes. Woman after my own heart, basically. And then she just had too many VHS tapes. My friend's like, just take some of these off her hands, please. And so I'm like, okay. And I just grabbed this because I thought it looked interesting. And this is basically a power block, the All-Star Theater, just for kids home video, starring the Beverly Hills Teens and Maxie's World. Maxie's World was a cartoon made by Deke and Claster, animated in Japan. Now, I've looked for some of the kind of backstory in terms of where, like, did Toei do this? I mean, if you take a look at this, it's made by Deke. It looks like G.I. Joe and Pride of the X-Men. This is obviously animated in Japan, unless, like, some other animation studio, like, is doing Japanese quality stuff. But in the 1980s, you could really tell the good stuff because it looked like a Japanese anime, like the Ruby Spears Superman. So anyway, why am I talking about this? Because actually there's a video that was done by Kenny Lauderdale. Again, I always bring him up, and he's like, well, what is anime really? Like, is this an anime? And because he was talking about, like, well, what is anime? And some people are like, oh, well, it's just cartoons that come from Japan. And I would pretty much be on that page. I would be in that school of thought. So I would consider this an anime, even though this didn't air in Japan. Deke, the place that made a lot of the kids' cartoons for us children of the 80s, made good relationships with Japanese animation studios and even had their own Japanese animation studios. So a lot of their 80s kids' cartoons were animated in Japan, and the one that we're going to be talking about today is Maxie's World. Now, I think Maxie's World is a very beautiful cartoon. I'm actually going to pump the contrast down a teeny bit here so you can, better see it in the background here. This was Hasbro's Barbie, basically. Not to sound like Waylon Smithers in the episode of The Simpsons where he's like collecting Malibu Stacy and he's just like the weird, creepy guy and who's collecting Barbie dolls. I don't personally collect Barbie dolls. I just like Japanese cartoons and 80s aesthetics. And Maxie's World has that. And I also like 1980s wholesome culture. Noam Chomsky called this the Mohawk Valley formula. This idea that you're going to try to smooth class discontent by creating a utopian image of American capitalist society. In my dialectical opinion, it could actually lay the groundwork for communism in a good way. Not the Gulag communism, but, where we're all kind of, valorizing this concept of harmony and cooperation. So it's good stuff. And all of that is definitely present in Maxie's World, where the whole story of Maxie's World takes place in the 1980s aesthetic, vibrant world of Surfside High School, where Maxie, Hasbro's Barbie, puts on very different hats as a upper class woman at her high school. She works for the school news station. She's a reporter. She dabbles in all different manners of professions. This episode right here, I believe, is the last Maxie's World. This ran, it was produced, I want to say, in like 85, 86, and then aired on American television, syndicated in 87, 88, and then got kind of like rerun through the early 90s. This is really weird. So she takes this career aptitude test in this episode, and there's a mix-up, and she thinks she's supposed to be a ventriloquist, and there's this like anthropomorphic puppet hippo. I think his name is like Blippo, and he's adorable. But it's like not really clear if Blippo is only moving in Maxie's mind, or if it's actually like a talking like human doll, like Chucky, but not evil. Because like normally you see Blippo and Maxie and they're just talking with each other, but then at the end, and there's this like thing in the episode where like Blippo is constantly going, "Oh, no hippos here. I hate when that happens." But then, like, at the end of the episode, Blippo says it, and then everyone starts laughing like they could hear him. So, I'm not really sure what's going on there. And it doesn't really matter. Take a look at how pretty this is, though. Like, they don't make stuff like this anymore, not to sound like an old guy in a rocking chair. I'm a 38-year-old in a swivel chair, which is, better. Anyway. But, yeah, if you take a look at cartoons nowadays, like, it's very flat. It's all done with computers. There's no, like, warmth or texture there, and that's all here. You can tell this was animated in Japan. Like, take a look. You've got that nice shading and vibrant colors, solid colors, and just a lot of smooth movement and warmth. I mean, they don't even make cartoons like this in Japan anymore, quite frankly. So it's a very beautiful cartoon to watch. And another cool thing about Maxie's World is the soundtrack to it is very nice. It's kind of like Gem and the Holograms-esque, another American cartoon that was animated in Japan. Oh, here's this hippo right here. Let's hear.
Hello? Hi, Simone. Hi, Simone. Sure, I'd love to go to the mall. See you in front of the Lorna Tamale shop at 11. Bye. Can I come? No hippos at the mall, Blippo. No hippos at the mall. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I don't know why Maxie's being such a jerk. There's no reason why Blippo can't just hang out in her purse. This is, discrimination is what it... Oh, look, Blippo made it to the mall. Okay, so Blippo has to be real. Because, like, okay? Because, like, apparently, like, Maxie didn't bring Blippo, so Blippo apparently just decided to, on his own, hail a cab. Incidentally, okay, so in the 1980s, right, it was the Reagan administration. People were getting over the malaise of the Vietnam War and humiliation of the Vietnam War and all these protest movements that called into question the very fabric of what it meant to live in an American society. And a lot of that was a lot of like kind of petty bourgeois and bourgeois discontent with the prosperity of capitalism, coupled with a sense of moral disgust at U.S. imperialism. And that just basically made American society not feel very good about itself. But then Ronald Reagan got elected in 1980, and there were kind of precursors to Reagan in the late 70s. And all of a sudden, America got very much into this, let's stand tall and show the Soviet Union that we have created a workers' utopia. And you had all these sitcoms about these, like, kind of middle working class families that lived in, like, these very nice homes and lived in a very kind of harmonious, happy society. And that's all very present here in Maxie's World. Like, she lives in, again, this, like, kind of California town. She might live in Beverly Hills, I'm not sure. Maxie's World appeared alongside Punky Brewster, the cartoon, and Beverly Hills Teens, the cartoon, in this kind of, like, 1980s kids power block. They used to have these, like, cartoons for kids in the early, kind of mid-afternoon, like when you'd get home from school, and you'd, like, turn on the TV. I remember another really good Japanese... no, Blippo's, like, now gonna make a plane crash right here. Check this out. What? No, I guess the plane didn't crash, so that's good. So anyway, Maxie's back at school. I'm just saying, like, this kind of, like, utopian, harmonious world is definitely the world that Maxie lives in. And I gotta tell you, as someone watching this, I don't think this is just nostalgia. Like, in 2021, I really just appreciate this. I mean, both is because it takes me back to the 1980s. I guess there's the nostalgia, but then also I just genuinely think this is interesting and enjoy this here. Right, Alfie? Alfie holding Bobby Bonilla's rookie card right here. Like, this is a very real thing that I have here. I have Alfie holding Bobby Bonilla's rookie card. Bobby Bonilla incidentally deserves $1 million, not just for 30 years. He should get $1 million a year for 100 years because the New York Mets fans treated him like crap, and he's awesome, and he won the World Series with the Florida Marlins. So you are awesome, Bobby Bonilla. There's a little bit of an aside there. So back to Maxie's world. So, she's got all these ideas in her head. She doesn't really want to be a ventriloquist, so she's thinking about all these different options. But incidentally, you could make these into various Maxie dolls right here. But what Maxie's going to end up doing is finding this out here. Let's check this out.
And Robo sometimes makes mistakes. Do you believe he said Mushroom should be a movie projectionist?
Nice hat on that guy.
I do think the career Robo chose for you is very special and well worth considering. So do I. Quiet, Robo. But Miss Lopez, I'm just not 100% sure I want to be in show business. Well, I guess you could say this career does involve a certain kind of show business. There's a lot more to being the President of the United States. President of the United States? I thought Robo said I should be a ventriloquist. No, Maxie. That was Ferdy's result. There must have been a mix-up.
So yeah, I would totally vote for Maxie over really any of the presidential candidates that we had this last go around, and I would definitely vote for Maxie over Kamala Harris because I do not want Kamala Harris being the first woman president. She's a vice president now. Whatever, I don't care. I'm not trying to make this a political video. But yeah, so she's gonna actually give Blippo to this guy right here, which is kind of sad.
No hippos in the White House. I hate when that happens.
See, they can all hear Blippo. So Blippo has to be real. So it's good stuff. Check out that cool American flag. It's like not quite the right colors of the flag because it was clearly done in Japan, but it looks cool. Now this is so Maxie's got a couple of kind of 10-minute episodes combined to each other. This next episode is about these graffiti artists who basically learn how to be real artists. Once Maxie and her friends and this weird French artist guy decide to, show them their true potential. So yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, I highly recommend Maxie's World. I just saw that this series is available on DVD. Now, it's probably not going to look as warm on DVD because they're probably going to clean up the animation and stuff. But what I would recommend doing, because I'm completely insane, is if you really want that VHS aesthetic, you could dub your DVD to VHS. Which I do sometimes. You can actually see that on my YouTube channel. Or you can just have the DVD because it's awesome. Or you can try to track down these Just for Kids videos that have select episodes of Maxie's World on them, and they're hosted by a kid named Noel, who is in fact not me. I am the only Noel on the internet that's worth anything. So Noel Bloom Jr., if you're out there and you want to throw down, I've got my jujitsu skills ready to lock up with. Actually, I should probably not do that because I haven't done jujitsu since the pandemic started. So yeah, so that's a thing. All right, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. And I highly recommend Maxie's World. Right now, I'm going to include the beautiful Maxie's World credits for you all to enjoy. Like and subscribe and comment, and I will see all of you in the very near future on the Noel Comics YouTube channel. Bye-bye.
Maxie's World, coming this fall, starring Maxie, everybody's favorite girl next door. She'll be joined by old friends like Punky Brewster, Little Miss Mischief herself. You'll have a blast with Punky and her pals. And the Beverly Hills teens will be there too. You'll laugh yourself silly with all the smooth dudes and excellent dudettes of Beverly Hills. Be there with Maxie and the gang in Maxie's World. It's the most happening place to be on your TV.
Surfside High School in the sun. An ocean of blue where the surfers have fun.